Hi everyone, Daisy here with a different kind of video. So some of you may know that I recently really got into crocheting, probably about 6 months ago or so. Actually, I really got into buying yarn and I needed something to do with that yarn. So crocheting was an easy thing. I kind of knew how to do like the basic, very basic, like chaining. I could do single crochets. I tried to learn how to do it before and ended up with a scarf, sort of, that was like a million feet long. Yeah. So anyway, I started doing it because I needed something to do that I could take with me to do. And scrapbooking is really hard to kind of do on the go. Like you can do some scrapbooking on the go, but I needed something that was easy. I didn't have to like pre-plan kind of a thing. So I figured I would go with crocheting. It's something that my mom does, and so I don't know, it just made sense. So I started out with hats, and I made this hat. It's in this gray yarn, which I think is probably a Super Saver. Actually, I don't think it is. It's super duper soft, and I haven't it hasn't been washed yet. And I made this a few months ago. This one is for my son. This was my first. Was it? I think this was my first like magic circle hat. I think. Because it's not stitched together. So this was my first top-down hat. Before that, I had made like the one, you know, bottom-up hats. Quite a few of them, and I couldn't find any because my daughter has them all at school because she wears them and leaves them there. So my first hat was made out of a Super Saver stripes yarn, and it's very neon. And so I did one using like a triple, no, it's a double crochet, but you do it 3 times in each stitch kind of thing. And then I went on to a more lightweight yarn, like a mandala, and did a, what is it, the shell stitch. And I just found like some tutorials on YouTube and on Pinterest. And so I started out with hats and then got bored with them. So I made 2 for friends. I made each of my kids a hat. I made myself 2 hats. And yeah, so this one's different than all the other ones I did because I wanted it to be stretchy because he's got kind of a big head. So, and I wanted it to be kind of more boyish than the shell stitch. So there's that. The next thing I made was this blanket, and I used some of those, hold on a second, let me grab it. They're Bernat blanket stripes that I got from Joann. I got 4 for $20. They were on sale, and I used 3 of them, just 3 of them. And it's just a half double crochet blanket. I started following a pattern by Melanie Ham, and then I think I just did my own thing because sorry, I got dark hair in my mouth now. I was struggling with counting, so I started this blanket like 6 times, and I had to frog it and start over. And so I just decided to simplify. And so this was my first like big project, and I absolutely love it. It lives on my couch or on my lap. And so that was using this blanket yarn. You get quite a bit of it. I was surprised. It's 220 yards and it's polyester. It's a super bulky 6. I'm sure everybody has seen this. But yeah, it's so soft. So And then I went crazy and started a whole bunch of things. So I started a corner to corner blanket with a pattern that I bought off of Etsy, but I had to throw it away because I didn't do enough research before I started it. So I messed up, like, every time I had to tie off my yarn and start a new color. I did not do it right, so the blanket just started falling apart. So I just threw it away. Like, I just got rid of it because there was no saving it. There was no frogging it. Like, it had all these little squares. I actually have pictures of it, I think, on some Facebook groups and things. Yeah, it just ended up not being pretty, and I wasn't even halfway done. It was going to end up being a, basically, I think a twin size bed. The pattern I bought was measured completely wrong, so I think it was going to end up being a twin size blanket. That's not how big it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a little throw Afghan thing, or lapgan thing. Yeah, so I think because the person I bought it from was from a different country, so I think like just the converting the measurements was wrong. But it was gorgeous and I loved it, and I'm definitely going to do it again. I'm just going to do it right now that I know a little bit more. After that, I started getting frustrated with that, so I stopped doing that and started working on this. And this is the, I don't have the instructions in here. It's from Crochet Crowd or Yarn Inspirations, and it is the Scandinavian Snowflake Blanket. The one that they have is in red and white, and I chose to do mine in blue and white. Oh, here's the instructions. So yeah, Scandinavian Snowflake Crochet Afghan from Yarn Inspirations. And it's a free pattern on there, which I'm new to crochet, so any of you who've been crocheting probably know all this stuff, so I'm sorry if I'm telling you things you already know. But anyhow, this is kind of, so I did 3 of the like little snowflake hexagon pieces here, and this is kind of what it's going to end up looking like. It's going to have a border along the outside too, but I'm super happy with it. I wanted to work on something that wasn't Christmas, because, you know, it's February. I'm still working on it, but we still have snow on the ground, so perfect. And I am using Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, and I am using white and royal. Yep, royal. Both of them jumbo skeins because, I don't know, I'm like that. Like, I'd rather buy the big one than buy a million little ones. I don't know if that's just me. So then, this is my next project. So I started following a pattern from Yarn Inspirations. I think it's called like the cocoon cardigan or something like that. Cozy cocoon cardigan. And I quickly abandoned that because, so you basically had to make 4 of these granny squares and then attach them all together to create this big square to create the sweater, but I didn't want that. I didn't like that because my colors are not as muted as they were using. And I also did not like the border on their sweater. So this is what I did. So I followed the pattern for the start of the granny square, and then I just went on my own. And so I started doing granny, like it's a big granny square basically, and then I used this gray yarn and I did a stripe around here and then more of the granny stitch and then stripe here, more granny stitch, and then that's as big as it needed to be. So then I found a tutorial somewhere, and I have no idea where. I've tried to find it and I can't find it again, which was a problem because I forgot how to do it when I came back to it. So, because I had put this aside because I wasn't 100% happy with it, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, and I decided just to finish it. So I love this ribbing band, and like I said, I have no idea if anybody knows who has the tutorial for this. Please tell me, because I can't find it. But you're basically doing half double crochets, but you're doing it in the diagonal, like, loop, kind of at the front of the stitch instead of doing it in the top V. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. But I love this. It's super thick, it's super soft, it stretches really nicely. So I did one arm so far, so one arm here, and basically it's going to go really well with my plaid. So this is what it looks like. It's, you know, a typical cocoon. This is the arm. I'm not 100% happy with the arm. I wish it would be a little bit tighter, but I guess, you know, for what it is. Like, basically I want a sweater to wear when I'm sitting on the couch at home and I'm cold. Like something that makes me feel like I'm wearing a blanket. So this is what I decided on, and I'm going to do another cuff like this on this side, and then I'm going to do a ribbed band around the whole collar part here. So that'll make it a little bit wider so that it kind of closes. I haven't decided if I want to do a button. I was thinking about doing a button. But yeah, so I love the back of it so much. The arm's not really my thing, and I think it's just the way that the can't get it off. I think it's just the way that it drapes. So I'm hoping after I wash it that it'll loosen up a little bit. And for that I am using Caron 1 pound. And I am using it in the medium gray mix, the deep violet, purple, and this is Ocean. This is so pretty. I love this. It's so soft. I am excited to wash it because I feel like it's going to soften up a little bit. And this is just a 4 medium weight yarn. You get 1 pound of it, which is 812 yards. So you can make a pretty hefty project with this. As you can see, I'm done with my colors, and so I have tons of this left. Like, it's hardly flattened at all. My gray is... I'm going to end up using the full skein, I think, to do all of that ribbing. So I'll end up using all of that, but that's fine. And I was just at Hobby Lobby because for my anniversary, my husband gave me a $100 gift card, and I found this little yarn holder thing. And it was on sale, and it ended up being like $11.99. So super happy about that. Much better than the cardboard box I was using to keep my yarn in. And then the last project I'm working on, and I'm not allowing myself to start anything else until one of these are done, is this. Now this is for my older daughter. It's the color scheme of her bedroom that she just came up with, which is pink and gray, and then this was supposed to be white, and I'm a little disappointed. I ordered from Joann's and did the pickup thing, and I should have checked, so it's my fault, but instead of giving me the white, they gave me the antique white, so it's a little like off-white. I think it's going to be fine, but it does look a little yellowish. And it's of course covered in dog hair, because whenever I start crocheting, they're right on my lap. So, I'm doing this pattern, which is kind of a little chevron-y pattern. And I am using another Yarnspiration. Again, I started using their tutorial and then I'm doing my own thing. So basically I just started it and I followed it for maybe the first row, maybe the second row, and then I just did my own thing. But I do like to have a pattern just in case I forget what I was doing, so that I can kind of go back and be like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. So this is the grayscale blanket from Yarnspirations. I will try to include links down below just in case you're curious. And yeah, so I'm doing my colors differently. I'm going to do gray, white, the two rows of pink, and then white and gray. So this is going to end up being a larger blanket because I'm doing 2 skeins of each one of these colors. And I also picked this up at Hobby Lobby to carry my project in. I got 2 of them. So this is the Bernat Blanket Blush Pink. And then this one is the Bernat Baby Blanket, and this is in Mountain Mist. I love this gray. It's like almost a purpley gray. Both of them have 220 yards in them. They're a bulky 6. They're polyester. And then this is that Bernat Blanket Antique White, or Vintage White, sorry. So yeah, it's so super soft, so fluffy, like you just want to crawl under this blanket. So I'm using this hook, which is an 11.5 to crochet it. It's an 11.5 millimeter size P, depending on where you are. I think everything else I'm using a 5 or 5.5 size hook. But yeah, so I am loving this. Like, I love crocheting it because it's really cold here, so I can cover up while I'm doing it. I love it. Okay, so those are my work in progress and a couple of things that I have finished. I did just buy some yarn because I want to try making some face scrubbies with like the little hand holder piece on it. And so I think I'm going to take a couple of different patterns that I've found and put them together to make kind of my own thing. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've got going on in the crochet world. I just thought that, you know, Daisie Scraps works really well for scrapbooking, and it kind of works for crocheting too because I end up with a lot of scrap yarn. So, but anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that my scrapbooking people aren't too disappointed in it. If you don't want to watch it, you know, you can always skip any of my crochet stuff. I am going to try to post maybe once or twice, you know, a month about what I'm working on for crochet. I'm not going too super crazy. I am going to have a yarn haul from a company that I just found out about, and I am like super in love with it, so that should be coming up. It's so nice. So if you're interested in learning about or finding out about some yarn, you can watch that. But anyway, I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Any comments, I read all of my comments and I will do my very best. I at least like them so you know that I've read them. My phone doesn't always let me respond to comments. Like, it will let me type it and then it doesn't actually post them. So I do my best to at least acknowledge that I read your comments, and I will answer any questions that you have, so please feel free to leave those comments down below. I will try to include links to the patterns that I used. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate everybody, and I will see you again next time. Bye!